Have you ever felt so deeply attached to someone and at the same time known that it wasn't good for you? Maybe it felt intense, magnetic, hard to walk away from. And because it felt strong, you told yourself, this has to be love. The push pull, the hot and the cold. When it's good, it's so amazing. When it's bad, it's so bad. But here's the thing, we don't talk about this nearly enough. Intensity and intimacy are not the same thing. And if you've ever felt confused about the two, it's more common than you would think. You're not unique in that. Like today, I just want to slow everything down and unpack the difference between trauma bonds and real intimacy because they can feel similar in the beginning, but they are built on completely different nervous system foundations. So, what is a trauma bond? Let's just start here. A trauma bond, and I'm going to read this. A trauma bond is a strong emotional attachment that forms through repeated cycles of hurt and intermittent care. It's not just loving someone who hurt you, it's when connection and distress get wired together in your nervous system. Maybe they're warm one week, they're distant the next, affectionate, and then emotionally shut down. And every time they come back to you, your body feels a sense of relief. That relief feels really powerful. And there's actually research behind it. Like when affection comes and goes, the bond strengthens. It's called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same psychology that keeps people hooked in gambling, right? Like I think about every time I pull the slot machine, there's a chance that I might win. But really, it's like, I don't know the statistics, like 1 in every 100,000 people or whatever it is. But that possibility of, but I might win. I might get the love and attention that I've been craving for. It might be a good day. Keeps you hooked and in that cycle that is just really toxic. Your nervous system gets activated when they pull away, like that fight, flight, or freeze. Like, oop, we got to pay attention now, right? The stress hormone rises. Your amygdala scans for threats, but then they return back to you. Dopamine spikes, your body exhales or relaxes, and your brain encodes that relief as connection. So over time, your attachment system and your stress system become intertwined. You're not just attached to the person. You are attached to the cycle. And if that's landing or resonating for you, I just want you to notice that. Just no judgment, just notice it, not to fix it, not to change it, just to notice, that feels kind of familiar. And this is what trauma bonding often looks like in real life. Maybe they don't text back for hours and your whole body tightens. You replay the last conversation that you guys had. You wonder if you said something wrong. When they finally reach out to you, you do feel calm again. Like you find that relief, that euphoria of like, oh, I can exhale. That swing, though, that pendulum swing of hot and cold, push and pull, it's activation and relief. And maybe you justify it by saying, oh, it's just complicated, or they're just really busy, or they've never been hurt before, or a part of you really believes that. But your body and your nervous system is on a freaking roller coaster. And here's the real hard truth, honestly. In trauma bonds, chaos can feel like chemistry. So then the next question is, why are we drawn to it? Like, if it's that bad, then why am I drawn to this thing that is so negative for me? And this is the part that matters because people will ask, why do I keep choosing this? And I want to shift that language. Our nervous systems move towards what's familiar, not what is healthy. And so our nervous systems moves towards what's familiar, what's comfortable, what's safe, what's predictable, what it knows, not necessarily what is healthy or good or right for us. So if inconsistency or emotional distance or having to work for connection was normal earlier in your life, your body learned that love feels pretty uncertain. So when you meet someone emotionally unavailable, your system recognizes the pattern, and recognition can feel like attraction. It's not that you want chaos. It's not that you think that that's a good idea, like, sign me up for that. It's that your nervous system equates effort with connection. So there may also be a part of you, especially if you resonate more with the anxious attachment style or the overfunctioning style, that learned if I try harder, I won't be left. That part isn't needy. It's protective. It's protecting you. That has been trying to keep you connected in the only way that it knows how, by rescuing, by staying, by pushing through, by trying harder, by shrinking yourself down to be so small that you become unrecognizable. But it makes the other person cozy. It's like that saying, right? Like, don't set yourself on fire just to keep someone else warm. That applies here. So, trauma bond versus real intimacy. Okay, so here's the difference. In a trauma bond, you feel anxious. You feel more anxious than you do grounded. You feel like you're bracing. You're kind of hypervigilant, on edge. The highs are high and the lows are destabilizing. Repair is inconsistent. You're often doing more emotional labor than the other person. Okay, so that's trauma bond. In real, healthy, emotional intimacy, there's responsiveness, there's consistency. Conflict doesn't automatically threaten the relationship. You can bring apart things and the connection stays intact. And what's more is that you know when there is a rupture, that repair is going to come. And so maybe somatically, like you notice like your shoulders drop. You can have a deep exhale and a deep inhale, like you can breathe. Real intimacy doesn't spike your nervous system. Like it doesn't make you on edge. It doesn't keep you hyper vigilant. It regulates it. And sometimes that can feel boring at first. And then that's not because it's wrong, it's because your body isn't used to calm. And so I often talk about, if something feels really like not good, but you know logically that that is the thing that you need, then to know that it's just because it's hard or feels weird or feels like not good or bad doesn't mean that it's wrong. It means that it's different and that we are actively trying to rewire your system. So, something that I think might be helpful too to kind of just like layer in here with trauma bonding and understanding real intimacy is relational trauma doesn't just live in your thoughts, it gets stored in sensory memory networks. That's why when something reminds you of that kind of dynamic that you had with your partner or past partner, it's not just a story. Sometimes it's like a full body reaction. Your chest tightens, your stomach drops, you feel like you're going to poop your pants, your mind spins, your nervous system is reactivating the memory. So, in trauma informed work like Tholage, we work directly with those memory networks. Through bilateral stimulation and guided processing, the brain can reconsolidate those experiences, which you might also think of like EMDR. It's very similar. So, what does it mean to reconsolidate those experiences? It means the memory updates. The body no longer reacts the same way. Like we rewire things. And that's how trauma bonds begin to loosen. Not because you decide logically to be better, but because your nervous system learns what is safe. And it's a totally rewiring, reconsolidating of things, which is really cool. Like neuroplasticity, that's what that is. Like we have the ability to adapt and to change. We're not fixed and you're not broken or stuck. So if you're realizing that you might be in a trauma bond, here are some questions to start off with. After interacting with that person, ask yourself, do I feel more grounded or do I feel more activated? Like jazzed up, not in a good way. Your body is information. Secondly, notice the urge to chase after them. Instead of asking, how do I get them to show up? Maybe shift that question to, what do I need right now? And just even reflecting on that is huge because you're often probably the person that doesn't think about yourself. You're always thinking about what can I do for them? How can I make them more, cozy, comfortable, to get them show up more, to all these things. And you're like the master puppeteer, if we're being honest, right? Third thing, we want to also start building tolerance for steadiness. And so we want to kind of build up that muscle because again, like we've created the other, right? So if someone is consistent and emotionally available and part of you feels restless, just notice that. Can feel unfamiliar before it feels safe. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that you're rewiring. So I want to leave you with this. Are you attached to the person or to the relief that you get? Does this relationship expand you or does it shrink you? You deserve a connection that feels safe, not just intense. Because remember, we often mistake intensity for connection. Real, emotionally healthy intimacy does not require you to abandon yourself. And if your body hasn't learned that yet, it can. Not every emotionally unavailable relationship is a trauma bond, but when emotional unavailability gets paired with inconsistency, the push pull, it can totally turn into a trauma bond. If you're realizing that emotional unavailability is part of your story, I've done a whole conversation previously on emotional unavailability from like an attachment kind of perspective. You can check that out here. It'll either be like right here or right here. It'll be somewhere on the screen. So go and check that out.